Okay, welcome back to the channel of Pro Enzo Vids, and tonight's video, it's a bit different to what I normally do, but it is a quite exciting video only because this is me predicting the ladder from round 21, which is now, to always the grand final, which is literally in October. So going to be quite exciting this, unscripted, no bias involved, hopefully. So yeah, this is just pretty much me going through the ladder predictor, you know, basically picking each game of every round for the rest of the year until finals and the grand final. We'll see what the grand final is by then. So, yeah, a bit of a different video. Haven't really done videos like this in quite a while, but yeah, something different. Why not? And I hope you all enjoy. As always, please be sure to like this video and do subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. As well as commenting your thoughts on my result I get in the end, like my final top 8, my finals predictions and grand final predictions, etc. So yeah, do subscribe if you haven't already. But yeah, obviously, as I said before, hopefully no bias comes into place because it is quite easy to pick my team, which is Manly, in most games. But yeah, I'll try and keep it as realistic as possible. So enjoy, and let's go through round 21 to the grand final. So enjoy. Righto, so the very first game on the Friday, we've got the Warriors and the Tigers at Go Media Stadium there in Auckland. Realistically, the Warriors should win well, so I'll go with the Warriors to win by about 18 because it is 18 points it's 1, 2, 4, 8, 12, 18, 24, 30, 38, 48. So I reckon I'll win at least 13 plus anyway, so I'll go Warriors by 18, which takes them to 11th place. Now, I may as well just say as well that there's no buys encountered in this NRL.com ladder predictor, so if it's a bit wrong, it is what it is, but yeah, look, it's all for a bit of fun. No real seriousness involved. So we'll see what I get in the end. So Warriors to win. All right, Parramatta versus the Storm at CommBank Stadium. Well, I think Storm win fairly well. So Storm to win by about, I'm going to say 18 as well, roughly around that sort of margin. So Storm by 18 at CommBank should be too good on Friday. Broncos and the Bulldogs at Suncorp Stadium, 3 p.m. Saturday at Suncorp, sorry. Broncos to win. I think Broncos win at home. So Broncos by, 12. I think 12 is realistic. Now, the next one, Cowboys and the Sharks at Queensland Country Bank Stadium. A real toss of a coin game, in my honest opinion, but I will tip the Sharks to win. I think Sharks will be a bit more desperate. So Sharks by, let's go 4 points. So Sharks are second and Cowboys are ninth. Okay. Now, the big one, Roosters versus Manly at Allianz Stadium. So, as I said before, hopefully no bias kicks into place, but I genuinely do believe we'll win this game. I do think so. If we lost, I wouldn't be shocked, but I think Manly will have a point to prove, and they know that, they win this week, they go into the top 4 and have the bye the very next week. So that's why I think there's a lot at stake for Manly, and that's why I think we'll turn up a win. So Manly to win. Manly by 4, but 4 should be a very close game at Allianz. The Roosters should be very hungry for a result themselves after last week. Okay, on to Sunday. Dragons and the Panthers at Wynn Stadium there in Wollongong. Penrith should win. I reckon they should win, but I won't go anything crazy, like nothing over 30 points. So Panthers win by about, roughly 18. Okay, on to Dolphins and the Titans at Suncorp Stadium. Obviously a Dolphins home game. Dolphins to win 13 plus. I think Titans might be in this one for a bit, but Dolphins to win by, I don't know. Look, I think 12, maybe just over 13 plus or just under that. But yeah, Dolphins to win, I think. They'll bounce back this week. And lastly, Raiders and the Rabbitohs at GIO Stadium in Canberra. The Jack White Cup. My tip for this one, though, I actually will go with the Rabbitohs. And I know that's a bit bold because there's no Latrell in the Rabbitohs team. And obviously Canberra are playing for a top 8 spot still. But yeah, I don't know. I think Souths will win. And Jack White will take this one personally. So I'll go with Rabbitohs to win by 8 points. So there we go, 8 points. So if those results do happen, that's the ladder after round 21. So Storm first, second Panthers, third Sharks, fourth Manly, who come into the top 4. Fifth Roosters, sixth Dolphins, seventh Bulldogs, and eighth the Dragons, who move into the 8. And outside the top 8 is Cowboys, Broncos, Rabbitohs, Raiders, Warriors, Knights, Titans, Eels, and Tigers sitting pretty in last. So yeah, very interesting results for that one so far. Okay, on to round 22. But before I do that, let's go into the comments very quickly. So, hello to live chat, and let's see who's here. So, we've got Jason Reader, hello. Josh Rabbitohs 2024. Nick from Australia, hey bro, hope you're good. We've got Matthew Dixon, says, can the Rabbitohs 7 win in the weekend? I don't know what that means, but I mean, if you're talking about winning this weekend, I think they can. And Harley Wabden, hello. So, yeah, look, good to see the live chat in full swing right there. So, yeah, let's continue with the ladder predictor, shall we? So, okay, round 22, the first game on the Thursday, we've got the Tigers and the Cowboys at Leichhardt Oval. Well, you think the Cowboys will win, right? So, I'll go with the Cowboys to win. Cowboys by 12. Yeah, I'll say with 12. I think Cowboys don't have the best record at Leichhardt, but they should win in all seriousness. So now they're 6, and the Tigers still remain last. Warriors and the Eels at Go Media Stadium in Auckland. Warriors should win. I'll go Warriors by 24. I think they'll have a big win, and they'll win well. Okay, the main game on the Friday, it is the Dolphins and the Roosters, and this game's at HBF Park in Perth. So good to see another game in Perth. I think Dolphins do have a contract, I believe, of taking games to Perth. So, yeah, good to see it's still around. So it's a tough one because Dolphins and Roosters are very similar, I feel like. But I'll tip the Roosters, I think. I think Roosters will win this one. I think they have a bit more points in them compared to the Dolphins, but I could be wrong. But I'll go Roosters by 4. So they jump Manly back in the top 4. Okay, on to Super Saturday. Titans and the Broncos at Seabus Super Stadium. There's a world where I can see that the Titans causing an upset, but I think the Broncos will win. Broncos to win. As long as Adam Reynolds is playing, I think they'll win. So Broncos by 8 points. Moving on to the Storm versus the Dragons at Amy Park in Melbourne. Yeah, Storm should win. Storm 13 plus. So that could end the Dragons season if they win well. So yeah, I think Storm by about 24. Let's go 24. Now the last game, Sharks and the Rabbitohs at PointsBet Stadium. Tough, but I'll go Sharks. I think Sharks at Shark Park should get the job done. Sharks by, we'll stay at 12. Yeah, 12 points, I think. Sounds good. On to Sunday, it is the Panthers versus the Knights at Bluebet Stadium. Penrith should be too good. I don't think Penrith will be missing anyone unless there's injuries. So Penrith 13 plus. We'll go Penrith by 18. And lastly, Bulldogs and the Raiders at Belmore Sports Ground. Another tough one to call, actually, based on form, but it's at Belmore, so that's why I'll tip the Bulldogs. So Bulldogs by 8 points, I reckon. Doggies by 8. And Manly have the bye. So here's a ladder update. So after round 22, my ladder is looking like this. So first the Storm, second the Panthers, third the Sharks, fourth Roosters, fifth Manly, Cowboys go 6, Bulldogs 7th and 8th the Dolphins. And outside the top 8, it's Dragons 9th, 10th Broncos, 11th the Warriors, 12th Rabbitohs, 13th Raiders, 14th Knights, 15th Titans, 16th Eels, and 17th still the Tigers. So very, very interesting. Okay, on to round 23. So very close to the end of the regular season now. Rabbitohs versus the Storm at Accor Stadium. Yeah, look, you got to go Storm, right? I think Storm are, they're quite a level above most clubs, which I think they are above Rabbitohs. So Storm to win. Storm by 18. I think Storm by 18 is possible. Friday, Titans and the Sharks at Seabus Super Stadium. Well, the last time Titans, they did beat the Sharks. Where was that game? At Coffs Harbour. And that was a bit of an upset. But this time it's at Seabus, and can I see them winning? Actually, you know what? I reckon they can. I think the Titans actually beat the Sharks in a small upset at home. So Titans to win by 4. There we go. All right, the Battle of the West: Eels versus the Panthers on the main game on the Friday at Combank Stadium. Parramatta do turn up against the Panthers normally. That's sort of, I guess, a bogey team for Penrith, if you want to put it that way. But the way Parramatta are, I just can't see them winning. So Penrith to win. But Penrith by 8. I think this will be closer than we all think, but we'll see. 3 p.m. Saturday, the first game of 3. It is the Raiders versus my boys Manly at GIO Stadium. So, of course, I'll be at this game my first time at GIO as well. Raiders versus Manly. Our record's quite good in Canberra. Look, I don't know. I think I genuinely believe we're better than Canberra if we're playing well enough. Of course, we lost them last time at Brookie, which was a complete collapse and choke. But yeah, I think as long as we're fit, we can win. So I'll go us by 12. On to the Cowboys and Broncos game. Ooh, what a big one. That's a big one at Queensland Country Bank Stadium. Very tough to call, but I'll go Broncos to win by a point. Broncos by 1 point in Townsville. I think that can go to Golden Point. Adam Reynolds field goal. So, yeah, very close to call. But Broncos, well, if you all thought Broncos season was over, think again because they have jumped back right to 6. So that's crazy how they've just jumped that far ahead. But yeah, other results will determine if they stay there or not. Okay, Dragons and the Bulldogs at Jubilee Oval. It's a tough one. I'll go Dragons, actually. Dragons by 2. Dragons do play all right at Cogra, so I'll go Dragons by 2 in that one, which takes them to 10th, and Dogs just hanging inside the 8. Sunday footy, Dolphins and the Warriors at Suncorp Stadium. I think the Dolphins win, but we'll go Dolphins by 4 points only. And lastly, Knights and the Tigers at McDonald Jones Stadium. They're in Newcastle. Both teams are nearly as bad as each other, but I think the Tigers are a lot worse than the Knights, and it's at McDonald Jones Stadium, which I think that's why Knights, for me, have the upper hand. So Knights to win by, 12. I think 12's fair enough. So that's that. So let's look at the ladder now. So first, still the Storm. I think they'll get minor premiership in this one. Second, Penrith. Third, Sharks. Fourth, Manly. Fifth, Roosters. Sixth, Dolphins. Seventh, Broncos. Eighth, the Cowboys. That rounds out the top 8 after round 23. And outside the top 8, it's Bulldogs who drop outside the 8, which is crazy. Then 10th, Dragons. 11th, Warriors. 12th, the Knights. 13th, the Rabbitohs. 14th, Canberra. 15th, Gold Coast. 16th, Eels. And 17th, the Tigers still. Well, that's interesting. That's huge. Okay, on to round 24. The most likely grand final out of everyone, I think. Everyone's saying it could be a Melbourne and Panthers grand final, and I wouldn't be shocked if that happened. But yeah, that's the first game for round 24 on the Thursday at Bluebet Stadium. Storm v Penrith. I'll tip Penrith. I think Penrith at home can get the job done. Obviously, Melbourne sort of embarrassed them last time back in round 1 in Melbourne, but this time it's in Penrith, and I think Panthers can get the job done, and they'll get revenge over Melbourne. So Panthers by 2 points. Moving on to the Friday game between both Manly and the Warriors at Four Pines Park. Okay, if this was in New Zealand, but we've already played the Warriors in New Zealand, I would have tipped the Wars probably, but it's at Brookie, and I think the home advantage always sits well with us. So I'll tip Manly by 12, I think. I think 12 is fair. Now, the main game on the Friday, that is the Roosters and the Eels at Allianz Stadium. Roosters should win. Roosters by 24. I think they'll have a big win at home. So Roosters by 24. Moving on to Saturday, Bulldogs versus Dolphins at Salt Oval. That's at Bundaberg, where the Bulldogs do take a couple of games at. Bulldogs v Dolphins. I'll go with the Bulldogs actually to win by 4 points. So they're now back in the 8 at 6, and the Dolphins are at 7th. Okay. Now, Cowboys versus the Raiders at Queensland Country Bank Stadium. This is another big one that can go either way. Well, I think Cowboys win after having, after having that loss to the Broncos. My prediction after that last round, I think they'll bounce back at home and get the job done. So Cowboys to win by 8 points. 8 points. Yep. And now, lastly, for the Super Saturday, it is the Tigers and the Rabbitohs at Campbelltown Sports Stadium. South should win. I'll go Souths by 18. I think Souths should win well. Sunday, Dragons versus Titans at Wynn Stadium. There in Wollongong. It's at Wollongong, and Dragons do play well at Wollongong, so I'll tip them to win. Dragons by 12. Okay. And now, lastly, Sharks versus Knights at PointsBet Stadium there at Shark Park. I'll go with Cronulla. The home side should win this one. So Sharks to win. Let's go Sharks by, I think 12's fair. So that's that. So that's round 24 done. We now move on to round 25. So very close to round 27 now. So let's go for the live chat once again. And hello, Will Pearson as well. Hope you're doing well. So we're very close to round 27. So this is Getting very close to the end of the season now. Okay, and all right, let's go through the ladder quickly. So after round 24, the ladder is like this. So Storm first, second Panthers, third Sharks, fourth Manly, fifth Roosters, sixth Cowboys, seventh Bulldogs, and eighth the Dolphins, and ninth Dragons, 10th Broncos, 11th Rabbitohs, 12th Warriors, 13th Knights, 14th Raiders, 15th Titans, 16th Eels, and 17th the Tigers. So wow, there's only about 3 points separating fourth to ninth, pretty much. Only 3 points separating it. That's crazy. That's actually bizarre how close the comp is. Anyway, the first game for round 25, it's the Luke Brooks Cup. So it's Brooks' first time playing the Tigers at Leichhardt Oval. So that's a big game for him personally. Tigers versus Manly. We should win, right? I think Manly should win. But I don't know. Tigers could cause some trouble, but I'll go Manly by 8. We can win 13 plus, but I think by 8 points. I think Tigers could trouble us. That's why we'll win by, roughly around 8. Why not? On to Friday night footy. It's the Warriors versus the Bulldogs at Go Media Stadium. Very tough to call, but I'll tip the Bulldogs, actually. I think the Doggies can go to New Zealand and get the win. So, Dogs to win. Dogs to win by 2. 2 points. Very close one. There we go. 2 points. Now, Broncos versus the Eels at Suncorp Stadium. Friday nights at Suncorp, you know how Broncos like that a lot, so Broncos should win. Broncos by 18, so that pushes them back to 7th place on the ladder, so they're right back in the 8 now. And Parramatta are still down there with the Tigers. Super Saturday, Raiders versus Panthers at GIO Stadium. Penrith should win. Penrith by 12. Storm versus Dolphins in Melbourne. I'm very tempted to tip the Dolphins upset because it's possible. The Storm can't win forever. But I won't do it. I'll tip Melbourne still. I'll play it safe. So Storm by 4. Might be quite close, actually, that one. Lastly, Rabbitohs versus Knights at Accor Stadium. I think Souths win. Souths by 12. Latrell Mitchell's back by then anyway, so that should help them a lot. So if Souths go to 11th place, Knights stay 13th. On to Sunday now. Titans versus Roosters at Seabus Super Stadium. Roosters by 12. They should win this game fairly well. And lastly, Dragons versus Sharks at Winter Stadium. Wow, another tough one. Well, the Dragons were close to beating the Sharks last time at Shark Park, but can they actually win this time against them in Wollongong? I'm going to say yes, they can. I think Dragons caused an upset at Wollongong. They beat the Sharks by about 4. I think Sharks will collapse a little bit. They'll still be in the 8, but they might lose a couple of games before finals. So, yeah, Dragons win by 4 and Cowboys have to bye. So that's round 25 done and dusted. So we now move on to round 26. So, okay, the ladder looks like this after round 25. So first Storm, second Panthers, third Sharks, fourth Manly, fifth Roosters, 6th Bulldogs, 7th Dragons, and 8th the Broncos. 9th the Cowboys, 10th Dolphins, 11th Rabbitohs, 12th Warriors, 13th Knights, 14th Raiders, 15th Titans, 16th Eels, and 17th Tigers. Ooh, okay. It's definitely heating up now. It's heating up. All right, on to the Thursday night fixture between both Cowboys and the Storm at Queensland Country Bank Stadium. Up there in Townsville, I think Melbourne win. Melbourne by 8. 8 points. Wow. Bulldogs versus Manly at Accor Stadium. We know how unstoppable the Bulldogs are at Accor Stadium this year. So I think Dogs to beat Manly very close, though. I think we can win. Manly can win, but I'll go Dogs to win by 4. I think Dogs might keep us in a very gritty game. And if it is a gritty game, I think Bulldogs, win that game. So Dogs win by 4, but should be quite a close game. On to the big one, Panthers and the Rabbitohs at Bluebet Stadium. Penrith should win, but I'll go Penrith by 12. I actually think the Rabbitohs will be in the fight for this one. The last couple of years, Souths have turned up against the Panthers, but I think Penrith should be, still too strong. So Penrith to win. Eels versus Dragons at CommBank, 3 p.m. Saturday. This is a tough one, but we know how inconsistent the Dragons are. So I think we might go over the Eels for this one. I think Eels are due for a win. Parramatta by 4. Dragons are hot and cold as a club in general, so we'll go Parramatta to win by 4. Dolphins versus Broncos at Suncorp Stadium. It's a Dolphins home game, but it doesn't matter. Broncos really treat this as a home game either way. I'll go Dolphins. Yeah, you know what? Dolphins win. I think Dolphins win. Last time Broncos won, I believe, but this time Dolphins get the win. So Dolphins by 2 points, being a very close one. On to the next game now. Sharks and the Warriors at Shark Park. Sharks win. I think Sharks end the Warriors season, because I think if Warriors lose, that's their season done and dusted for good. So yeah, I think Sharks end their season at Shark Park. So Sharks win by, yeah, I think 12's fair. I'll keep it at 12. I think 12's fair. On to Sunday, the 1st of September. So we're in the month of finals football now. It's the Knights versus the Titans at McDonald Jones Stadium. I'll go with the Knights to win by 8. And lastly, Roosters versus Raiders at Allianz Stadium. I'll go with the Roosters by 12 as well. Okay, that's it. And we're on to the last round of footy. And let's see how the ladder looks after round 26. So Storm first, second Panthers, third Sharks, fourth Roosters, fifth Manly, sixth the Bulldogs, seventh Dolphins, and eighth the Dragons. Very interesting. And 9th Broncos, 10th Cowboys, 11th Rabbitohs, 12th Knights, 13th Warriors, 14th Raiders, 15th Titans, 16th Eels, and 17th Tigers. Yeah, well, it's definitely really heating up now. Like, I think this last round does determine where most clubs finish. Like, Broncos, Cowboys are 2 clubs that are definitely looking to make the 8 still, while Dragons, Dolphins, and Bulldogs, or I think Dogs are locked in actually, but Dolphins and the Dragons can't lose no matter what. Okay, Broncos versus Storm at Suncorp Stadium. Now, this is out of assumption. I don't know if it will happen for sure, but I think Storm will rest their players in round 27 because finals is next week and the Storm are already locked in. So, ends at Suncorp, so I'll go with the Broncos to win by 8 points, which might actually get them in the 8. So Broncos to win by 8, which might lock them in the top 8. But that's out of assumption Storm rest their players. But if not, Storm will win. But I'll go Broncos. Tigers versus Eels. Oh my god, the Spoon Battle. Gee, I'm looking forward to this one. Not. But Tigers versus Eels at Campbelltown. You know what? For the last... Actually, if I tip Tigers, does that make them go ahead of Para? No, it doesn't. Okay, so Tigers are the wooden spooners either way. But yeah, look, like at last game at Campbelltown, last home game of the year, I think Tigers might get the job done. So Tigers by 4 points. So it does end in a very disappointing season for both the Tigers and the Eels right there. Now the big one, oh my god, this is huge. I'm very tempted to go this game. Like, honestly, it's going to be huge, this one. Rabbitohs versus the Roosters at Accor Stadium. I think Rabbitohs can cause an upset, but I'll go with the Roosters. I think Roosters, they beat them back at Allianz, but I think the Roosters might get the job done just. But if Souths won, it wouldn't shock me, but I'll go with the Roosters win by 4, which I think locks them in the top 4. So yeah, we're in the 4. Okay, on to Dragons versus Raiders at Cogra, the first game on Saturday. I will tip the Raiders. I think Raiders will be a bit too good for the Dragons. I know Dragons have a lot of pressure to win this game because if they win, they make the top 8, I think. But I don't know. Something's telling me Canberra might have just enough to win in the end. So I'll go Canberra to win by 12. And Dragons just miss out, unfortunately. They just miss out. Okay. Oh, this is a big one. Dogs and the Cowboys at Accor Stadium. So Dogs are playing finals no matter what. But if Cowboys do lose, they miss finals. But if they win, they make the finals. So it makes it very big, actually, this game. It really does. It's at Accor Stadium. The last time these two sides played, Cowboys won last week, 2018. Yeah, it's tough, but I'll go the Bulldogs to win. The Bulldogs by 4. I think they get the job done just. So that could definitely mean that's the end of the Cowboys season. So just miss out by a couple of points. So very unlucky there. And lastly, for Super Saturday, for this one, it's the Panthers versus the Titans at Bluebet. I think Penrith will rest their players as well, but I think they'll still win. So Penrith by 4 points. Now, on to Sunday afternoon footy. It's a big one because I actually think between both Manly and the Sharks, whoever wins locks in the top 4 spots. Hang on just 1 second. So if I press Sharks to win, for example, they go to third and they're locking in the top 4 spot. But if Manly win, can they go? Oh, they stay at 5th. What? They stay at 5th only. Yeah, okay. So we don't make the top 4 after all. Yeah, no. So if we win, we stay 5th either way. So, okay. That's a bit disappointing, but oh well. But yeah, I think we'll win. At 4 Pines Park. It's our home. It's our fortress. I think we'll win. So I'll go Manly by 4, and Sharks to just narrow it out and finish in the top 4. And lastly, Knights and the Dolphins at McDonald Jones Stadium. They're in Newcastle. I can see a world where the Knights win and do solidify a spot in the finals. To solidify a spot in terms of just winning their last home game of the year. But I think Dolphins, which I meant, do win and they do solidify a spot in the top 8 for the year. So I think Dolphins win by 4 points. So that ultimately means they make the 8. And the Broncos just finished 8th place, rounding it out with the Storm being first for my final ladder predictor. Storm first, second Panthers, third Roosters, fourth Sharks, fifth Manly, sixth Bulldogs, seventh Dolphins, and eighth the Broncos. With the bottom 8 being Dragons, Cowboys, Rabbitohs, Raiders, Knights, Warriors, Titans, Eagles, and Tigers for the Wooden Spoon. So, look, it may be a bit inaccurate because the bye included, but it's just a bit of a play around, I guess you can say. I don't believe this will actually happen, but just based on what I think will happen, that's what I got. So, yeah, very interesting. So that's my final ladder right there. Okay, we're on to finals week 1, which gets very exciting now because we're on to finals footy. So what have we got? So we've got Storm and the Sharks at Amy Park in Melbourne. We've got Manly versus the Broncos at 4 Pines Park. Oh, that will sell out in less than a minute. We've got Bulldogs versus Dolphins at the Core Stadium, most likely. And we've got Penrith versus Roosters at Bluebet Stadiums. So this is very exciting, actually, this first week of finals. This is quite interesting. So first of all, Storm versus Sharks. I'll go with Storm to win in Melbourne. I think they'll be a bit too good for the Sharks. I don't believe in the Sharks hype, so Melbourne to win. Manly versus Broncos. Oh, this is another tough game. If we lose, we get knocked out. But if we win, Broncos get knocked out, obviously. So this is a elimination final. It's at Brookie, so I'm assuming it's at Brookie. I mean, we played the Sharks there for first week of finals at Brookie, so I can't see why we can't play there again. So I'll go Manly to win, but just though. So Manly to win, and I'll go into the semi-finals for week 2. All right, Bulldogs versus Dolphins. I'll go with the Dolphins, actually. A bit of a ball over because it's at a core stadium, and yeah, the Bulldogs obviously are great at a core stadium, but for some reason, something's telling me that Wayne will get the Dolphins up for this game. I think Dolphins will be up for it, so I'll bet the Bulldogs just at a core stadium. And lastly, Panthers versus Roosters at Penrith. I'll go Penrith. I've got to play it safe and tip Penrith to win. So Penrith to beat the Roosters in Penrith. Okay, we now move on to the second week of finals. It is both Sharks versus Manly and Roosters versus Roosters. Boy, oh boy, this is very tough to tip now. It's heating up. Okay, well, let's see how we go. So I'm assuming that Sharks versus Manly will be at Allianz Stadium. I'm assuming that's where it will be, at Allianz. I think that's the most respectable ground for both fans of both clubs to turn up at Allianz. Very tough, very tough. Look, I think the Sharks beat us just only because they would be hurting from that loss against us in round 27 at Brookie. So they might try and seek some redemption. That's what I'm a bit worried about. That could happen. Look, Manly could easily win this. We can easily beat the Sharks at Allianz without any dramas, but for some reason, I think Sharks just beat us. So I'll go Sharks to beat Manly there in the semi-finals. And Roosters versus Dolphins, I'll go with the Roosters to beat the Dolphins at Allianz most likely this game too. Now we move on to the prelims, and this is very interesting. So the prelims are looking very, very juicy. Storm versus Roosters at Amy Park, and then you got Panthers versus the Sharks in Well, that's at a core, I think. I think that game might be at a core stadium or Allianz, but I'm assuming a core. Storm versus Roosters. I think Storm win just. I think Roosters will go very close and try to get some revenge over the Storm, but I think Storm are on a different level compared to Roosters, so I'll tip Melbourne to win. Panthers versus the Sharks at either a call or Allianz. I'll go with the Panthers to win. Sharks have gone on a good run, but definitely a team that isn't quite as serious as both the Roosters. Sorry, as both the Panthers and the Storm. I don't think Sharks are that serious just yet. So now, everyone, we move on to the grand final, the biggest game of this season. You can argue both the Storm versus the Panthers at obviously a call. So it's the 2020 grand final rematch. I think it's very obvious that this is the grand final. I'd love to see an upset during finals. Believe me, I'd love to see it happen. But I just think both Storm and Panthers are two very strong sides and just two teams that no one can really touch at the moment. I think once Panthers are full strength, no one's going to touch them apart from maybe Melbourne or some other club. And yeah, Melbourne are in a league of their own pretty much. So for this one, just thinking about it right now, it's going to be Luai and Fisher Harris's last game. It's Ruva's last game in the grand final for this one. And for the Storm, it's definitely up to them to make history once again, winning another comp for the first time in 4 years, which was their last comp win in 2020. I'll tip Storm. I think Storm are my premiers, so I think Melbourne might win the premiership. And yeah, there we go. So it says 2023 for some reason, but it's all right. So yeah, Storm are my 2024 predicted premiers. I think it's Storm's year. I know it's very boring, and I can't stand Melbourne, hate them with all my guts. But as I said before, they're in a league of their own. They're a very good side. Been doing what they do best for years now, and yeah, I can't see Storm not being in the grand final this year at the very least. So again, my ladder for this season, my final ladder prediction: Storm first. Then my minor premiers with 19 wins and 5 losses. Panthers second with 19 wins and 5 losses. Roosters in third with 16 wins and 8 losses. The Sharks fourth with 15 wins and 9 losses. Manly fifth with 15 wins, 1 draw and 8 losses. Bulldogs 14 wins and 10 losses. Dolphins in seventh with 13 wins and 11 losses. And Broncos with 13 wins and 11 losses. So pretty much, as you can tell, 13 wins are the pass mark to make the 8. I think you can finish 9th as well with 13 wins, but based on this prediction, 13 wins is the cutoff. So those teams who have 13 wins have made the 8. And the teams that are on 12 wins have just missed out. So that is Dragons in 9th, Cowboys 10th, 11th Rabbitohs, 12th Raiders, 13th Knights, 14th Warriors, 15th Gold Coast, 16th Parramatta, and 17th the West Tigers. So yeah, that's my final ladder. And with how finals went, first week of finals, I had Storm to beat the Sharks in Melbourne. I had Manly to beat the Broncos at 4 Pines, Bulldogs to lose to the Dolphins at Accor Stadium in Sydney, and Panthers to beat the Roosters at Penrith. And on to week 2, I had Sharks and narrowly just beat Manly, which hurts to say, at Allianz most likely. Roosters to just beat the Dolphins at Allianz in week 2. And going on to week 3, Storm to beat the Roosters in Melbourne, and Panthers to beat the Sharks at likely Accor Stadium, I'm assuming, as that's closer to probably Penrith. In the grand final, Storm to beat the Panthers in a very close game. And if I give you a score prediction for that game, for the sake of it, I think Storm beat the Panthers in the grand final, 22 points to 16. And I don't know, Clive Churchill. We'll go with Cameron Munster. But that there's my final ladder predictor for the remainder of the 2024 season. So it's quite fun to do. Obviously, you guys all know where to find this ladder predictor. It's NRL.com, the official NRL ladder predictor. It may be a bit inaccurate because the buys don't count, but yeah, I guess that's what I've got based on how things have went. But that's my final predictions for the year. I hope you all enjoyed. Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And yeah, do enjoy your weekend of football.